Hi, everyone. It is absolutely my pleasure today to introduce you to Dr. Hallie Chambers. I'm thrilled to have her here with me. I've had the pleasure of collaborating with Hallie on some projects, and I've gotten to know her both as someone who's excellent at the work that she does, but also just a really nice person who I think you're going to enjoy meeting. So thanks for being here today as part of this Women We Admire series, Hallie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let's jump right in because my first question for you is one actually I'm interested in hearing your answer to because I have difficulty with it myself. And that is putting into layman's terms, what is it that you do in the field of psychology? Usually when I tell people that I'm an organizational psychologist, they'll say something like, oh my gosh, I need you in my closet. Or I'm so disorganized at home. And I'm like, well, that's not exactly what I do. So tell us about what you do. And you and I practice in slightly different areas of the field. So about your expertise.
Yeah, a lot of times when I used to try to explain what I did, they would ask, are you psychoanalyzing me right now? Right. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not a clinical psychologist. But how I've kind of learned to explain what I do is I just say, look, I help small business owners make legally defensible hiring decisions. And I also help them to reduce the cost of employee turnover. So I help them save money and I help them protect their businesses. So for example, I created a job description for a client. And he was the owner of a catering business, but he was having some trouble finding qualified staff and making sure that the staff understood their roles. And so, when I created those job descriptions for him, he was able to kind of look at that and compare it to his current workforce. And he was able to determine some of the staff were not really the right fit for the position. Some of them kind of need to be moved around to different positions based on their strengths. So he was able to see how some of the staff were kind of keeping the business from growing and getting to that point where he wanted the business to be. So I use my training in business and in industrial organizational psychology to help small business owners, find and develop employees who are the right fit for their company. So they see hopefully they see a reduction in the costs of making bad hiring decisions. So that's a little bit, I hope that was clear, but yeah.
Yes, it is. And, you mentioned legally defensible hiring decisions. Can you say a little bit more about that? Because I get questions about that a lot. I don't practice, anymore in the field of testing and assessment. So would love to hear a little bit more about that piece.
Yeah, so it gets a little tricky when you're recruiting, when business owners are recruiting or hiring. I found that a lot of them don't understand the difference between a job description and a job announcement or a job ad. And so, in our business, we try to train business owners and inform them, about what a job description is. And it's a working document. It's an internal document. So you really shouldn't be sharing it with people, outside of your business, because it's always changing, always being updated based on trends in the industry, in your industry. So that document is really the foundation for, how you recruit, how you select employees, how you train employees. It kind of just is an anchor to keep you focused on what are the knowledge, skills, abilities, other characteristics that are necessary to perform successfully in a job. And so that, it really makes sure that everyone is on the same page. And it's legally defensible in that if you ever are sued by a former employee or someone who feels as if they were treated unfairly within the organization, you have that document to show that, hey, I made a decision to let someone go, or I made a decision to demote someone based on this job description, which is really an objective document that you can use in court to defend your case. So,
great. Thank you for explaining that. Well, talk to us a little bit about how you got into this field of psychology.
So I thought I wanted to be a criminal defense lawyer as a child.
Okay, well, sort of exactly like what you're doing right now, right? Shift.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I used to watch Matlock. Matlock was one of my favorite TV shows as a child. I just love the way he would kind of gather evidence and, the person that was found guilty was never the person that you would think it would be. He just had a creative way of using information to solve his cases. And so I love that. But, as I got older, I realized I probably wouldn't be a good lawyer. I don't really like to talk in front of people in public that much. I'm a real introvert. So yeah, I kind of geared to psychology because it allows me to think. I get to think a lot. I like to do that. It allows me to be creative. I love being creative. So that's one thing that kind of drew me to psychology. And also, this is kind of personal, but during my childhood, I also witnessed a close relative of mine. She suffered from schizophrenia. And it motivated me to kind of want to learn more about, the human brain and mental illness and how I could help people in distress. I guess as a young child, when you see that, you're kind of curious and you're like, how can I help this person in some way? So, once I found out about psychology, I was like, well, maybe clinical psychology would be the best path for me because I just have a heart for helping people and don't like seeing people in distress.
Yes.
So I went to college and, got my bachelor's in psychology, thinking I was going to go to grad school for clinical psychology. But then I took a history of psychology class, probably my junior or senior year. And I found out about industrial organizational psychology in this class. And I was like, wow, so you mean I can apply psychology in business? Like my parents are business owners. So I grew up around, we'd have conversations around the dinner table about issues going on in the business. And I have several family members who are business owners. So it was just a comfortable environment for me. And I was like, well, I know business owners are sometimes in distress and they're dealing with chaos in their business. I can apply psychology to that and, use my, what I know about psychology to help business owners who are in distress or, things are chaotic and just helping them to organize their business, tighten things up, have processes and structures in place to kind of alleviate some of the stressors on them. Because I've seen, how chaotic things can be when you really don't have a process in place or structures in place for how you want things to be within your business. So it helps business owners to kind of step back, be comfortable stepping back from the business and trusting that the business will be okay, if they decide, well, I don't want to go to work today or I want to do this today. So it just I'm glad I found a way to kind of use my creativity and my love of information. I get to do research and, just provide business owners with the information that they need to just make more informed decisions about, how they hire and train employees. So yeah.
And you now work with your parents, correct?
I do. This is a family business. My parents are actually accountants by trade. And they've been in business since a couple of years before I was born. So they've been doing this over 30 years. And they focus on helping business owners with their financial planning, accounting and tax work, strategic planning. And so it's taken me a while to kind of carve out, my place in the business. I've been with them now about 3 years. So we've been working together. We developed a strategic plan just so we can get clear on, what is my role? What is my function here?
Yeah.
So, we had to go through that process and just get clear on, why do we want to work together? And what's our goal now that I'm in the business? So it's been a journey. It's been a challenge having those different roles, your mom, your dad.
Yes.
They still kind of see you as a child, it's hard, but I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
And I like hearing that you're doing the same thing for your business that you do for other businesses, right? So often the cobbler's children have no shoes.
Yes.
But you're walking the walk. Well, tell us a little bit about highlights of your career so far that may give people an even better understanding of what it is that you do and what you're capable of offering.
Yeah, well, it may not be what people are expecting to hear, but the highlight from my career, so starting out a few years ago, I decided I was going to make my first cold call or sales call to a potential client. This person reached out to me through LinkedIn. So I was like, okay, this is my first time. I'm going to, try this. I wasn't prepared or anything. I made the call. And when I made the call, you can hear background noise sometimes when you're talking to someone. And I could tell that, she had a lot going on and didn't really have a lot of time to have the conversation that I thought we were going to have on the call. My initial reaction was I asked her, do you still have time to talk? And she's like, yeah, now's still a good time. And I'm like, are you sure? But I didn't say that. So I started talking, trying to get to know her a little bit about what she needed. And she was just really quick. And she was, well, how much are you going to charge me?
Okay.
And in the back of my mind, I was like, don't say anything about price. You don't talk about price on the phone.
Right.
And I wanted this client so bad. I gave her what she asked for. I gave her my price. She hung up in my face.
Oh, no.
She hung up in my face. And yeah, it really, it killed my spirit. But I'm starting to, work up the courage to get more comfortable, develop my own approach for, sales call, phone call, initial phone call. So now my focus is really on building rapport and not allowing a potential client to, put me in the corner and ask about price, because it really depends. I have to come to your business and I have to see you in action. I have to see, how you're interacting with employees, how you interact with customers, to really understand, how your business works before I can give you a price, and understand your goals, short-term and long-term. So I have to do some information gathering beforehand before I can give you, my price. So during that initial phone call, I just try to focus on building that relationship. And yeah.
Well, that's important learning. It's funny. Julie and I just finished delivering Dare to Lead a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the things that we talk about in Dare to Lead is the importance of putting yourself out there in the arena and knowing that when you're brave and you do things like make a cold call, you're going to fall on your face sometimes. Like, failure is part of it if you're being brave and courageous. But sometimes the biggest learning we have is from those moments that we, fail, right? So we learned an awful lot from that initial cold call conversation, chief of which was, I'm not doing this again. This is not the way it's going to happen again, right?
Yes.
So what type of project is likely to be a good fit for you? And if people are interested in learning more about what you do and potentially working with you, how would they go about doing that?
Well, so if you're wanting to work with me, if you're kind of distressed and kind of things are feeling chaotic in your business, or if you're just wanting to grow and wanting to learn how you can, put structures and processes in place that'll help you do that as you start recruiting and training employees. The next step is really to visit our company website. So we want you to visit our website. It's www.venderbootcampmyb.com. I can share my screen if it'll allow me, but
I actually don't know how to do that. So tell me, I'm going to put it in comments.
Okay.
So that's www.
Vendor Bootcamp. M as in man, Y, B as in bird, .com.
Right.
So we want you to visit our website, join our mailing list. So that's how we want to communicate with you initially. We have a series of emails. We have an email campaign now where we're demonstrating, what you can expect in Vendor Bootcamp and explaining the value of Vendor Bootcamp to business owners. So we hope that information is helpful for you. We share stories about our, things that have gone on in our business as well. So we're hoping that, you learn from those messages and, decide to pre-register to attend Vendor Bootcamp. We have one coming up here in March and again in May.
More about that, Hallie. You hadn't talked about Vendor Bootcamp. What is that?
I'm sorry. Vendor Bootcamp. It's so my parents and I, we've developed an entrepreneurial training program.
Okay.
And that program is, it started out as like a face-to-face training, but we've converted it to online training because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But it's basically helping or guiding business owners to be operationally fit. So that's a term that we've coined to help business owners get their operations structured and making sure that everything focuses on the voice of your customer, because that's really important. So we cover talent management. I'll talk with you, train you on that process and how to get things lined up with the voice of your customer. We also cover business process management. So my mom covers that, and sales and marketing and technology systems, and also proposal writing, because a lot of, if you are a vendor, a lot of times you have to bid on proposals to do certain things in your work. So yeah, we really have, fun activities, fun discussion and networking with other business owners. And so it's just a good time. So we hope you guys, join us.
Well, thank you. And thank you again for joining me today for this interview. And I learned a couple of new things about you that I didn't know. One thing, you and I have never talked about this, but when I went to college, I actually went with the intention of becoming a civil rights attorney. I was a huge Morris Dees fan. I read his book probably when I was in 8th grade, and became fascinated with the work that he did in the Southern Poverty Law Center. And so my goal was that, one day I was going to become an attorney and work at the Southern Poverty Law Center. And we both ended up in organizational psychology. So there you go.
Great minds think alike, right?
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. So thanks, those of you that are here with us, for being here. And hope you'll take the chance to get to know a little bit more about Hallie through her website, which I've posted in the comments. But take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.